let's dive into the Sweet 16 here. I want to start in the South region. We got 1 seed Alabama, 5 seed San Diego State. We got 6 seed Creighton. We got 15 seed Princeton. T.O., what are you looking for? What do you think the key is? What matchup are you most excited about? Give me your takes on the South region here. Is it Alabama's to lose?
Yeah, it is. I think what I'm going to be looking at, that Alabama Creighton game is going to be fun. The only big difference is I think Alabama has more depth. If we can get to that game, like Princeton's played well, I just don't think. I think the run. I'm not going to say the luck because Princeton, what they've been doing is not luck.
No,
it's not luck. Like they're very good. I just think their run might be over. Creighton's really good, and that Alabama San Diego State game is interesting because San Diego State, they don't mind playing fast, but they prefer to stay a little bit slower because they're so big and strong. In Alabama, we all know what they do. Alabama is just so good. Between the talent of the guards the talent of the young players in the older guards, Alabama, man, they just continue to look great. And they won by what, 21 in the first game, of course, 6 against the 16 seed, of course, but then turn around and win by 22 over Maryland. And Brandon Miller was just fine. He was just fine. That's how good Alabama is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how good Alabama is. Alabama's best is better than everybody else's in this field. It just is. And Javon Quinterly was on another level on Saturday night against Maryland. He just was. Their guard play, they've got options. The ability of Charles Bediako and Noah Clowney to protect the rim makes it very difficult to get much rhythm on them. I will say this, though. I think that the foregone conclusion is that they're heading to the Final Four. And I understand that. And if you're asking me to make a pick, yeah, I think we all would pick them. But what we saw this past weekend was a Creighton team that can beat Alabama. They can beat Alabama because of the fact that you don't know defensively as an opponent where it's going to come from matching up with Creighton. Ryan Nembhard goes for 30 points against Baylor. I was amazed at how much Creighton dictated the way the game was played. They won that game from start to finish. They built a lead.
Yep.
Baylor would get within 8. And that was it. Creighton just kept punching back. And then against NC State, I mean, Terquavion Smith, we talked about him all year. Guys, he was awesome. He was awesome for NC State. And Ryan Kalkbrenner had 31. How many times can a team have back-to-back career-high performances by a respective player? It's a different player in the NCAA tournament. That sums up Creighton. And between Baylor Shireman and Trey Alexander, they've got shot makers, tough shot makers. And they do have a rim protector in Kalkbrenner. They're going to need to get the tempo to its liking if they do play Alabama. They can't have Kalkbrenner going up and down like crazy. But McDermott is a really good half-court coach. I mean, he's really good at executing his stuff. Creighton's never been to a Final Four. Let's see if maybe they shock the world this weekend and get there. There's certainly enough talent for them from 1 to 5.
How about this? I got a stat for you, Fanta.
Ooh.
Creighton is the first team to have a different player score more than 30-plus points in each of the first 2 NCAA tournament games that they played since, do you know who? And you say you cover the Big East.
Villanova.
No, and you say you cover the Big East. Providence in 1997 with Austin Crocier and Derek Brown. And you say you cover the Big East.
Wow,
I'm texting Val right now. John Fanta doesn't do his homework. Take him off the Patino interview.
Yeah, that's a great freaking no.
Yeah,
that's a really good one. Hey, let me ask you this: how many different guys for Creighton this year have gone for 30?
I think just those 2.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
I feel like Kaluma could have gotten hot one
30. Game. We'll check. I'll find out. Vamp while I look. Vamp while I research.
Yeah, I just and I also because we hit on everybody here, and I do look. I'm going to give credit to Brian Dutcher and San Diego State. Okay. They came into this year. We thought they could be a top 15 team. That was a real thought. They brought pretty much everybody back. And Jaden Ledee has been fantastic for this team. I thought that over the weekend they got different contributions from people. It's been more than just Matt Bradley is my point. And I'm amazed. Aguep, the big kid, God, their athleticism on the front line, San Diego State. Holy cow.
Yeah. Nathan Mensah is a terrific defensive center. Like,
oh my God.
Terrific defensive center.
Like Furman could not do anything. I just thought, T.O., like San Diego State was it was like a heavyweight fight to them. That's
why I'm really worried about this matchup. Like if I'm Alabama, I'm worried about this matchup because I look at what a team full of a bunch of old dudes on Tennessee did to a team of a bunch of freshmen on Duke. Today's episode is presented by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball's pick'em, where you get real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is pick whether a player will go higher or lower in Underdog's projected totals. That's points, rebounds, whatever. If you're like me and you think Marquise Noel is going to go absolutely nuts this weekend, pick higher on his points projection, throw in a couple of other picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Get in on the madness now. They just beat them up physically. It was a different game. You were watching 4th and 5th year seniors go up against 18 and 19-year-olds.
That might be the game to watch. But like, keep in mind too, like San Diego State's deep. They had 9 guys play at least 16 minutes against Furman. Now I realize it was Furman, but 9 guys play at least 16 minutes.
Yep.
So they're going to be able to keep up with Alabama just from a pace perspective because they're going to have fresher bodies compared to what Alabama's used to playing against, I guess. But golly, like, you're right. Guys, like, so big, and Ledee is massive. Like he has shoulders like they are so big and old, and like they're going to be able to figure some things out.
Yeah. 4 of Alabama's key rotation players are freshmen. They have another sophomore, Charles Bediako, that's 7 foot, like 225, right? Yep. And Javon Quinterly is not exactly the biggest guy in the room. So we just lost Fanta. We'll bring Fanta back in. But I mean, that's my biggest concern with them. It's just, we lost Fanta. We brought Fanta back. That's the day in the life of living with of working with John Fanta. But that's the thing that I'm most worried about in this matchup for them is that San Diego State can beat them up physically, and if the officials are going to allow them to play and kind of whistle it the way that it's been whistled throughout the first weekend of the tournament, like, I think San Diego State has an advantage there. Now, it may not matter because Alabama is just so ridiculously talented.
Yeah, that's it. That's the problem. And the problem is that San Diego State's half-court offense just is not reliable enough. But
that's right.
Like they're going to need Micah Parrish to hit some shots. They're just not a very good perimeter shooting team. They almost need to take a page out of Tennessee's book and hope that somebody goes off from the perimeter. Because you got to be able to shoot over that Alabama defense at times. I just, as much as they beat Furman, I will say Furman's loss to San Diego State was a reflection of how hard it is to beat Virginia as well. You know, they get past Virginia in miraculous fashion. Let's face it, it was miraculous fashion. But you have to fight Virginia in a war. I think out of all the teams that I would have had Furman face in the second round, the worst option off of the Virginia win was San Diego State. Yeah. Because San Diego State does not show up for a tea party. All right? They show up to kick your ass physically. Alabama's not going to be overwhelmed by that. They just face the SEC the whole season. Alabama's winning that game.
Yep.
All right. So you got Alabama winning? T.O., you got Alabama winning?
Yeah, I do. Too much. They're just so talented, and the older guards figure it out for them whenever the young guys are getting loose. All
right, and then we have Creighton beating Princeton. Do you guys give Princeton any chance? I give them a decent chance. I think they got a puncher's chance
Anybody with Tosan of Woma has a chance.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pull Kalkbrenner out. They got size and athleticism. It's going to kind of come down to me whether or not their guards make enough shots, but we'll see. I think Creighton is more versatile defensively than either Missouri or Arizona was. Like, they'll have the 4 guards. Kalkbrenner can move his feet a little bit. Like, I think this matchup is actually fairly good for Creighton. And not
can we give Caden Pierce his flowers too? Dude had 9 points. That's fine. 16 boards at 6'5".
Yeah, it's amazing.
And like that was
you love those undersized dudes.
Undersized dudes that just go board. Like it's hard to rebound, guys. Like you got to go get it. You got like
no man. I mean,
it's hard to rebound. Like I was never a great rebounder. I had a couple of 7 or 8 rebound games, but that's pretty much because they came right in my lap. Like it's not easy to go get boards among the trees.
Yeah, those people don't get rebounds, T.O. You let rebounds come to you.
That's right. That's right. You don't chase them. You don't chase those.
I mean, in the words of Greenberg, you could learn something from Kobe Jones. Come on, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. Alabama against Creighton. Who's making the Final Four? You still got Alabama?
Yeah.
I feel like if all 3 of us pick Alabama, that's no fun.
Well,
Creighton gets to their first Final Four. There you go.
Oh, your Big East is showing right now.
Well, I think Alabama should beat them. I think that a lot of people are thinking Creighton can't beat them. Like, folks, do not be surprised.
Creighton at their best can beat anybody. Yeah, Creighton at their best is very, very good. I'm worried about the depth, but whatever.
See it.